Ventile didn't just survive the storm, it owned the storm. And yet somehow, in the decades after World War II, this fabric so brilliant, so rugged, so quietly revolutionary, slipped almost completely out of public consciousness. Today, you can walk into any outdoor store and find shelves loaded with synthetic shells, buzzing with waterproof technology, and not a single whisper about the cotton fabric that once kept fighter pilots alive in freezing seas. How Ventile became the fabric that saved pilots. During World War II, Britain faced a brutal problem. Pilots flying missions over icy waters were going down, and survival times in the North Sea were measured in minutes. Rubber and coated fabric stiffened in the cold, and wool soaked up water like a sponge. That's when researchers at the Shirley Institute engineered something different. They took extra-long staple cotton, only the top fraction of the longest, strongest fibers on Earth, and wove them so densely, so tightly packed, that when the fabric hit water, the fibers swelled and locked together. No coatings, no plastics, just physics. The result was Ventile, a fabric so impressive it cut the mortality rate of downed pilots almost in half. It was used to line immersion suits, flight jackets, and survival gear. So, how does something that effective get ghosted by history? Well, the short answer is synthetics. After World War II, the world just fell in love with nylon, polyester, and honestly, every bit of chemical wizardry that promised waterproofing without the weight. Petrochemical fabrics were simply cheaper to produce in bulk, easier to scale, and they were aggressively marketed as the future. Cotton seemed old school by comparison, even when cotton like Ventile was performing at a completely different league. Ventile production required elite raw materials, slow weaving, and craftsmanship that just didn't match the speed of post-war consumer demand. It remained expensive, it remained niche, and little by little, its fame shrank to a whisper. Let's talk performance, because this is where Ventile flexes harder than most people realize. Ventile is quiet. Try moving in most waterproof synthetics. You sound like a plastic bag in a thunderstorm. Ventile moves like cloth because, well, it is cloth. Hunters, wildlife photographers, and stealth-minded survivalists swear by it for this reason alone. Ventile is breathable, not marketing-level breathable, actually breathable. Air moves through the fabric until water hits it. Then those cotton fibers swell and seal. You get the weird combination of airflow and waterproofing that synthetics still struggle to match without membranes, laminates, and chemical coatings. Ventile handles fire, synthetic shells melt, Ventile chars. That may not matter on a city commute, but if you're around campfires, stoves, sparks, or anything that can burn, Ventile wins. It ages with dignity. Instead of delaminating or flaking like plastic-based jackets, Ventile breaks in like high-end denim. It softens, molds, and keeps doing its job. Modern versions, often called organic Ventile or Swiss-engineered Ventile, are even cleaner and more refined thanks to improved spinning and weaving equipment. So yes, the forgotten fabric still punches above its weight. It softens, molds, and keeps doing its job. Modern versions, often called organic Ventile or Swiss-engineered Ventile, are even cleaner and more refined thanks to improved spinning and weaving equipment. So yes, the forgotten fabric still punches above its weight. If you're ready to hunt the real thing, here's the key. Ventile is still produced, but in extremely limited runs, mostly in Switzerland and the UK. You won't find it in big box stores. You won't find it in your average jacket aisle. This is a specialty material used by small batch makers and old world manufacturers who care more about quality than speed. The best way to find Ventile garments is to search within 3 categories: heritage outerwear brands, bespoke tailors who specialize in natural fabrics, and high-end bushcraft clothing companies. These makers often use single-layer Ventile for breathability-focused gear and double-layer Ventile for full waterproof performance. When you're looking at the tag, the magic phrase is simply Ventile. If it doesn't say it, it isn't it. Some companies use knockoff names like dense weave cotton, but authentic Ventile is trademarked and will always be labeled. If you want to apply this knowledge practically, well, start small with something like a Ventile field cap or maybe a light smock. Wear it in rain and, see how the fabric reacts. Then upgrade to a full jacket once you understand how it performs. If you're a survivalist or, say, a long-distance trekker, double-layer Ventile can be the foundation of a winter or wet weather system that stays quiet, tough and reliable, all without relying on synthetics. Ventile isn't just a material story. It's a case study in how wartime innovation can outlive its era. It represents a moment when science, necessity and craftsmanship aligned to create something genuinely new, using the oldest fiber known to humans. It teaches us that natural materials still have unrealized potential and that sometimes progress hides in the past. For historians, Ventile illustrates how World War II accelerated textile development in ways the civilian world never fully appreciated. For survivalists, it's a reminder that gear doesn't have to be plastic to be high performance. And for everyday explorers, Ventile is living proof that you can wear history, literally, and have it outperform almost anything in the store. Ventile disappeared, not because it failed, but because it never fit the world's desire for fast, cheap, easy fabrics. Today, with more people seeking durability, sustainability, and authentic performance, the old champion is quietly making a comeback. And if you know how to find it, you can be way ahead of that curve. And stay curious and stay prepared. If you want more deep-cut stories like this, lost inventions, forgotten technologies, the strange brilliance hidden in the corners of history, make sure you subscribe to HistoryHQ. Share this with someone who loves gear, war history, or survival craft. Let's keep building a community of serious history heads who aren't afraid to go deeper than the textbooks.